Hello and welcome to day 23 of 25 days of drams. We really are nearly there now. Too late to win them, unfortunately. We've already posted them out to the winner, but you can tune in for the last couple of days and learn about another few great drams, and you can also still tell us your thoughts on what you'd like to see in an advent calendar for next year so we can make one like this for you. Right, day 23. Whew, it's a big one. It is Springbank's 12-year-old, continuing our run of 12-year-old whiskies in the last few days. But this is a cask strength version. So it is an absolute ABV bomb at 56.5%. I've got some neat in the glass. I'm going in full bore. So what can I tell you about Springbank? You may have heard their name yesterday when I was talking about Glengyle Distillery, which makes Kilkerran. Now that is in Campbeltown, along with Glen Scotia, and Springbank stands out not only for the same reasons as I spoke about with Kilkerran yesterday in terms of it being Campbeltown single malt, but also because they are like a working factory museum of whiskey production. Everything there is done the way it was a couple of hundred years ago. They've been open since the 1800s. I don't know the exact date off the top of my head. And they still operate in a very similar way to they would have done back then. Some things have come along. They have a very fancy bottling line, like most distilleries do, although actually a lot of distillers don't do their own bottling, and again that's something that makes Springbank stand out. Not only do they do things in an authentic, traditional manner with as little modernisation as possible, or as is practical, they also do nearly everything from growing the barley, they don't do all of that, through till bottling and labelling the bottles on site in Campbeltown. And Campbeltown is not a big place. So they do something called Springbank local barley, where the barley is actually even grown locally, and otherwise it comes from elsewhere in Scotland or further afield. But everything else after that is done on site. They have their own floor maltings, where all the malted barley is laid out about 8 inches deep on the floor and dried out, turned regularly by men with large rakes essentially. And that goes right through to the end of the process, where they have a bottling plant on site. Their label design is done by an ancient, I believe an octogenarian who is local to Campbeltown, and everything that they do is traditional and authentic, and that is brilliant. And a lot of people believe that's truly reflected into the character of the spirit. So this particular dram is of note for two reasons. As I said, it's cask strength, so it's a real whopper in terms of flavour and strength of the alcohol. But also because it's a limited release, so Springbank do a certain number of expressions in their core range, and after that they do a lot of drams that they release a couple of times throughout the year. And this one's quite a well-known one that they release regularly without much variation to the name or style, which is their 12-year-old cask strength, but allocation only. So we're very lucky to even get this and to have been able to put it into our box. And it was in our cask strength edition, which was a real stonker of a box that we did some time ago. So let's see what it tastes like. Oh, Springbank has to some people an odd nose. It's quite savoury, almost meaty, or something like anchovies going on. It's not fishy, but there's that kind of savoury umami smell on the nose, which I think some people don't like. Maybe some people even say there were some off notes in there, which is definitely a thing that you can get in certain whiskies, but it's very sought after by some people. Goodness me, that is powerful. There's so much going on in it, it's so complex. This is a dram that you would need to sit down with for a good hour with a little bit more than I've got in my glass and really dig into all the different flavours. It's an amazing combination and kind of tapestry of savoury and sweet flavours. There's some salinity going on, but there's still a freshness as well. I honestly don't know how they pack so much into a dram and make it make sense, but it really does work. Wow. Right, I'm gonna not explore that in full on camera. I'm gonna take this offline and enjoy it on my own and really get to the bottom of it. But I hope whoever it was that won these, I don't know who it is yet because I'm recording this in advance, but I hope you're enjoying this when you get to it. And thank you everyone else for tuning in. I'll see you for the last couple of days shortly.